Shambho Sundara Hara Shashi Shekhara 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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Shiva Om Namah Shiva Om Namah Shiva Om Namah. We sang to Shiva because today's about purification, and we're playing a kirtan at the well springs this afternoon.
Not too fast, please.
Back up. Love came down at Christmas. Love, all lovely, love divine. Love was born at Christmas. Star and angels gave the sign. Love shall be our cloak, and love be yours, and love be mine. Love to God and all men. Love for plea and gift and sign. Good morning, CSL Rogue Valley and Unity in Medford. We'd like to invite you to stand up for our opening song, which is We Are Opening Up in Sweet Surrender. And I think you'll find the words right up there. Everybody up.
Oh, okay, that's not nice, Anton. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. We are opening, we are opening, we are opening, we are opening. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly higher. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly higher. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising up. This is our chance to dance. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. We are opening, 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 we are opening.
Mary Hill and Anton Miserak, yes! And we are opened, yes? Good morning, everybody. And welcome to everybody watching online. Welcome to everyone here. We are Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley in partnership with Unity of Medford. I am Kimberly Hawkins, Senior Minister here. And as always, it's my pleasure and honor to greet and welcome each of you, no matter where you may happen to be on your own personal spiritual journey. If there's anybody here for the first time, we'd love to give you a little love. Anybody, first-timers? Yes, welcome. Welcome. Ellen has a welcome packet for you. If you'd raise your hand one more time. There you go. Thank you. So let's see. We are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive faith community, and we teach tools to transform personal lives and to help make a world that works for all. I have a few people to introduce. You've already met Laura and Anton, our beautiful musicians this morning. Sometimes you're beautiful, sometimes I call you gorgeous. You're both. Reverend Stephanie Clark is on the platform with me this morning. She will be doing our opening prayer and reading, and our practitioner, Treasure Wild, has done our meditation and is sitting high watch praying throughout the service for everybody's highest and best good. If you haven't already done so, please put your cell phones on airplane mode or turn them off. I want to recognize our video crew back there this morning. It's Jason Rummel, Ben Rummel, Corey Rennick, and Tom Frederick. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I think that's it. So we're going to take our collective deep breath, turn it back over to our musicians to prepare us for our invocation and reading. Please hold your applause after this particular song. Thank you.
So there's a slight theme of surrender into newness today, and we are going to do a song in another language, Scottish Gaelic, and this song is the Mother Mary is singing to the little baby Jesus, so it's all about that newness that can come forth. And I know you're not supposed to applaud and whatever, but there's a little sing-along you can do if you wish, which is the Alleluias. Super easy if you want to do that. Gedes lenu kun heil, is lien vor bui a orsta fas. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia,
And how good it is to flow inwards, supported by the beautiful music. How good it is to contemplate the all in all, the divine power, the divine presence, that which some people call God. How good it is to remember that all there is the one. Nothing else exists, nothing else could exist. I am one with the one. Each one here is one with the one. This is our true nature, our true identity. And we are here this day by divine appointment to remember, to call forth, to reveal that oneness in ever greater measure, in ever greater beauty, in ever greater perfection. And so I speak the word for this sacred service this day, knowing that the Spirit has gone ahead to prepare the way, knowing that life is having its way with each one here, and that each one who has come here this day has said yes in their hearts to a greater awareness, a greater vision of possibility as a divine being, living, moving, having their being in a spiritual universe, on earth as it is in heaven. And I'm blessing my dear sister, Reverend Kimberly, and know that her words this day are words that are golden. They are words that come direct from the Spirit within. They are inspired, they are uplifting. The message of truth that emanates from Reverend Kimberly emanates not only over the tongue, but under the tongue. It emanates from her entire being. She is anointed and appointed to bring forth the message of truth and love and hope this day. I bless all the beings who had any part in bringing this service together, and know that each one is blessed and ever blessed, declaring that this service accomplishes the purpose for which it was sent. It accomplishes the purpose of awakening, remembering who we are as the beloved of the divine, as individuals and as the beloved community. We are here to bring forth the light, and the light is shining forth right now as each one of us. So I give thanks for the divine outcome of this service. I give thanks for the perfection that is unveiled here. I give thanks for the love intelligence that governs the universe, doing its sacred work between us and amongst us as we sit here in pure awareness of our Christ nature. I release the word now into law. I let it be. I know the work is done, and it's done in perfection, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. So good morning, everybody. Lovely to be back with the spiritual family. I missed you all. Thank you. Thank you. So the reading today is from Living the Science of Mind. The Bible verse is Matthew 16:25. And Jesus says, "He who loses his life for my sake will find it." He who loses his life for my sake will find it. In Living the Science of Mind, our founder, Ernest Holmes, explains this passage. At first, this seems like a hard and strange thing to do. None of us wishes to lose their life. It cannot be possible that Jesus meant that we should literally lose our lives, but rather that there must be things in our lives that we should let go of. There must be something attached to us that does not belong. And so we should seek to find the fundamental truth that Jesus taught. So even in teaching us that we must surrender something, Jesus was not telling us that we should live in poverty or limitation. What he was saying is that when we put our trust in external things alone, we are certain to become disillusioned. For a person may have a fortune one day and lose it the next. They may have a position of high power and suddenly lose all public acclaim. Jesus was telling us something more real than this, but something which contained everything necessary to living in the world. For he knew that we need food and clothing and shelter. He was not saying that the divine will imposes suffering upon us, but rather that when we fail to live in accord with the divine, we bring suffering to ourselves. So we see that losing our lives or making the great surrender to the Spirit does not mean losing anything worthwhile, but getting rid of those things which deny the presence and the power of the Spirit right here on earth. It is the great negations of life that we have to surrender. The doubts and fears and uncertainties, the coldness and unkindness, the lack of love. Thank you.
So this is the second Sunday in Advent. Today we're going to light the second candle of our Advent wreath. Last week we lit the candle for faith and hope, reminding us that divine light is always present, even in times of waiting. Today we light the candle of peace. I'm going to relight the candle of faith and hope, and here's the candle. Oops, wrong one. This is the candle of peace. In New Thought, we understand peace not as the absence of conflict, but as the deep inner awareness of God's presence within us. Peace is the calm assurance that Spirit is guiding, holding, and restoring all things. As we light this candle, we affirm the peace that already lives in our hearts, a peace that does not depend on circumstances. Peace that flows from our oneness with the one life, the one love. May this peace expand within us and radiate outward into our families, our community, and our world. May we become living expressions of peace, grounded in faith, guided by love, and anchored in hope.
I'm a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given to you, my God, I surrender. I surrender. child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given to you, my God, I surrender. I surrender. I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given to you, my God, I surrender. I surrender. I surrender.
Beautiful, thank you. There's that word surrender. We don't always like it, do we? Once in a while, we don't. So our theme for December, I've chosen to use the theme that was suggested for Centers for Spiritual Living across the globe, which is shedding our skin. Are you ready to shed your skin? So just as a snake outgrows its old skin, and you know what a snake has to do when that happens? It's kind of an uncomfortable process. It has to rub its nose and its face on something sharp to kind of break the old skin apart. And sometimes it takes up to 2 weeks to slough off the old so that the new can be present and allow the snake to grow again. The same thing is true of a hermit crab, you know? A hermit crab has to leave its home when it outgrows it and be vulnerable to any kind of prey in order to search for its next biggest shell to live in. So leaving our comfort zone is part of this process of shedding our skin. Eleanor Roosevelt once said her advice was to do one thing every day that scares you. I love her. And I love her advice. Do one thing every day that scares us. Not something we intuitively undertake, right? But it's a great way to grow. Joseph Campbell said we must be willing to let go of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. Yeah. So we do get nudges, don't we, when it's time to release, when it's time to surrender something that no longer serves us. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a job, maybe it's old beliefs about ourselves, an addiction, a habit. We get nudges, and I bet we've all experienced when we get a little nudge and we don't listen, what happens? A bigger nudge and a bigger nudge until we get the universal 2x4. That's kind of the way the universe works. It wants us to grow, right? It doesn't want us to be stagnant. So something you all may not know about me, unless you've heard me talk about it before, it may be hard to believe, but when I was a very young child, I was painfully shy. I mean, so much so that I couldn't answer when an adult would say hi to me. And my mom, you know, she was big on manners. You're supposed to say hi when somebody, I just couldn't. I couldn't muster the courage to even say hi. It was bad. I mean, I shouldn't label it bad, but it was painful. And yet my family also encouraged travel and exploration and doing something that was outside the comfort zone. So from the time I was little, I heard them talk about the benefits of like being an exchange student, going abroad, bada, bada, bada. So I applied when I was a junior to spend time between my junior and senior years abroad. I went on the experiment with international living to Belgium. I was a French speaker, but I was placed in a family in northern Belgium where they don't speak French. They speak Flemish, which is a dialect of Dutch. And it was an amazing, amazing experience to be away from my family. I had been away in Girl Scout camp for maybe a week or two, but never that long. It was absolutely wonderful. I learned some Flemish so that I could communicate with the mom. We spoke French, my two sisters and I, and the two brothers and I spoke English. And I came back different. I came back with more self-confidence. more sure of myself, still shy around adults, interestingly enough, until in college I was a French major, and I spent the better part of my junior year in Paris. And again, all by myself. So went over there, spent my 20th birthday alone in a hotel room as I was preparing, for the year. Didn't have a place to live. We were given, it was with Wesleyan University's program. We were given a list of people who rented rooms to students. So I was like getting on the metro and going everywhere, looking for a room, speaking French. There were no cell phones in those days, so calling on payphones and negotiating all that. I can remember sitting in the hotel in the student quarter when I first got there, just feeling like really alone and a little bit scared, but there was something also exciting about it, And I will tell you, when I got home after that year, I wasn't shy anymore. And I kind of felt like, what couldn't I do? If I could go over there with no place to live, not knowing a soul, and negotiate that year on my own, hey, the world's my oyster, right? So the benefits, and I'm sure you all have stories of that, where you took on something that didn't feel terribly comfortable, but you were shedding that old fear, that old dependency, and moving into the life that was planned for you, not the one perhaps you had planned. This time of year can be challenging, yes? It can be challenging, feelings. If we've lost loved ones and they're not here to spend the holidays with us, I know 2 friends recently lost beloved canine members of their family just this past week, and that's so sad. So stuff comes up, and so part of surrendering, I think, is taking time to feel our feelings. There was a book in my acupuncturist's office this week. The title was Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And I haven't read the book, but I totally resonate with that title. We have to feel the feelings in order to move through them and surrender them. So this time of year, I'm reminding me and reminding all of us to take time to be still. Sometimes that's challenging. I don't know you, but Vivian will attest to this. I'm a decorating nut. And I didn't get to do it the day after Thanksgiving like I usually did because I wasn't feeling well. And so this past weekend, I got everything up. And now I get to enjoy it and hopefully take more time to be quiet and still. When I did that this morning, I became aware of how much I miss my mom this time of year. She loved Christmas. She decorated. She made Christmas magical for us. I have many things of hers on the tree and decorations that she gave me, and it was just good to shed a few tears and to invite her spirit in. I am sure that she is delighting in my decorated house and would love it. But I'm just encouraging all of us to be gentle with ourselves and to take that time, because in order to be present, we really need to feel those feelings. I had a wonderful mentor when I was in Unity Church in Phoenix. Her name was Reverend Florence Dibley, Flo Dibley. And she used to tell me, I was in the middle of a divorce at the time, and she said, take time in the morning to have a pity party for yourself. Take a half hour to sit and cry and feel your feelings, and then get up and do something. So the invitation is to get still enough to feel the feelings, to release the feelings, but not to get stuck in them, not to wallow in them. And of course, to go for a walk, to send a Christmas card, to do something for someone else is always the best medicine when we're feeling sorry for ourselves or sad. But this idea of being present with the presence and enjoying the now moment, which is a gift, right? It can be a gift. Yesterday, Vivian and I delivered poinsettia plants to 3 of our close neighbors that we love so much, and we don't see them much. And 2 of them were home and invited us in, and that wasn't part of the plan. Part of the plan was get them delivered and go home and finish what we were doing. The to-do list is long this time of year. But it was so sweet to sit and listen and commune and to express love. It was really, really, really sweet. And I think that's what makes the season special, is taking time with people. So there's 2 parts to surrender. The talk title this morning, I think I forgot to share, is Surrendering into Newness. So in order to do that, we have to surrender, we have to give up, we have to let go or release the old in order to embrace the new. And we all know, like the hermit crab, you think about the story about trapeze artists. They can't grab the next trapeze until they let go of the other one, and that's a scary thing. But again, it's necessary, right? So surrendering the old is part of it, and then the other part is surrendering into, like you sang so beautifully about, you two, surrendering to the power and presence that we trust, in which we have faith and hope, that all things work together for the good, even when it doesn't seem like it. So a couple more words about letting go. I don't know if you are familiar with the life story of Maya Angelou. When she was 8 years old, she was raped. I believe it was by her mother's boyfriend. The parents had divorced, and she was obviously traumatized, didn't tell anybody for a long time. Well, I don't think it was a long time, but she didn't tell anybody at first. Finally shared what happened with her brother, who told the family. The perpetrator was sent to prison or jail for a day and then released. And a family member, we think, one of the uncles, murdered him. When Maya heard about this as an 8-year-old child, she decided that using her voice was dangerous, would kill someone else. And for 5 years, she didn't speak. She was capable, but she was mute on purpose. Gradually, she had a teacher who was giving her poems and encouraging her to read and write, and eventually, Maya was willing to surrender that fear and that belief that using her voice was dangerous, and look at what happened. I mean, can you imagine if she wasn't willing to let go of that belief, what we would have missed out on? Her poetry, she wrote screenplays, she danced, she sang, she's received many awards. She was decorated by 2 presidents. She was an activist. I mean, just imagine what we would have lost if she hadn't been willing to surrender that old belief. One more word about this time of year and processing feelings. My good friend Stacy, she's the pastor at First Christian Church, is holding with many of our clergy friends in the valley. She's doing again what's called the longest night service. So it's on the solstice on the 21st of December at 6:30 at First Christian Church, and it's a contemplative service, and it's meant to comfort, to honor those for whom the holidays are challenging, because they can both be a lot of fun and celebratory, but for many they're difficult, challenging, sad. So I did go last year. It was a beautiful service, and I put that in our newsletter this week, and it will go in again. I do encourage you, if you feel called, to go and participate in that. You know, this mind of Christ, we talk about Christ consciousness in New Thought, which means the consciousness that Jesus had so clearly. You know how he said, I and the Father are one. This consciousness of oneness, that we are one with our Creator, we are one with each other, and nothing can separate us from that. I love the expression, Paul's letter, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's really all that can transform us, is it not? To change our thinking, to drop the old beliefs, to take on a new perspective. It's life-changing. To have that Christ consciousness is life-changing. And something's rattling around my brain that I wanted to say, and I'm not sure. You ever lose a thought, and it's like right there? It's right there. Come on. I'm not sure it's going to come back. I know what it was. Part of, I think, what we're invited to release, we often have preconceived notions. We have judgments about others. Certainly we see a lot of that in our society right now, different aisles of the political spectrum and so on. So I think that to be willing to be open, to surrender those preconceived ideas, those judgments, to give someone a second chance, to listen, to be open-minded. That brings peace. I think holding on to the judgments, the unforgiveness, the separation does not bring us peace. Yes? Yeah. So there's a lot to surrender, and there's a big payoff in being able to do that if we're willing to walk through that no man's land between the trapezes, between hermit crab shells, between the old skin, which doesn't fit anymore, and the new one, which is waiting for us to slough it off. I want to end by sharing with you, again, an affirmation that was given to me by Reverend Florence Dibley, Flo Dibley. And I invite you to use it if it fits. When we lose faith and hope, when we can't quite see the light ahead, when we're mired in fear or separation or worry. And it goes like this: I'm centered and poised in the Christ mind. Again, the Christ mind being that mind that knows we're one. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. Would you say that after me one time? I am centered and poised in the Christ mind. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. And is that not the gift that Jesus gave us this season? The light, the faith, the knowing that we cannot be separate from our Creator and all the good that God has in mind for all of us. Let's go upstairs. Let's say a prayer together. Once again, we recognize, we celebrate that one life, that one presence, God, Spirit, infinite intelligence, love intelligence, creative principle, whatever we choose to call it. It is all there is. It's a power for good and only good. It loves us with a love that we cannot even imagine. It wants us to express that love, and it wants us to be transformed, to grow, to experience life in all of its fullness, all of its glory. This time of year when so many traditions celebrate the light that exists even in the darkness, we remember that if we look past conditions, effects, anything that we don't like that's going on in our personal lives or in the world, this light is eternal, unchanging. It's always there, everywhere present, all-powerful, all-knowing. I know Spirit as love, a love that we can't even humanly wrap our minds around, a heart so big we can't conceive of it. I know it as perfect peace, as exquisite joy, as order, as harmony, truth, beauty, and so much more. I know that since God's Spirit is all there is, I am made of it, and that's the truth for each one on the planet. Whether we agree with them or not, whether we think they're leading a just life or not, we are all incarnations, individual, unique expressions of that one life. Cannot be separate from it. And so as we celebrate Advent, and next week we begin to move into the period the Jewish people celebrate of Hanukkah, the festival of the lights, let us all remember that's the truth of who we are. That flame burns eternally within each of us and within each of our brothers and sisters. Let us be willing to surrender what no longer serves us. Let us be willing to enter our discomfort zone in order to grow and to expand and to remember who we are. I know that each of us is blessed this holiday season, and I know that all of our loved ones who may not be physically present with us are present. Life is eternal. Our souls do not perish. Love does not die. We are surrounded in love by the people around us physically and also those beings that we have loved and that have loved us and continue to love us. We have angels and unseen beings supporting us as well. I give thanks for this season of light. I give thanks for this community. I give thanks to know this prayer, as all prayers, has been answered before it left my lips. And I invite you all to say with me, and so it is, and so it is, my friends. Amen.
was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient, and I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
My gosh, and the harmonica? Yeah. So I'm going to ask our ushers to come forward. I think we have Ellen and Vivian this morning. Big thanks to all who have turned in pledge cards and all who continue to support us. And I know Treasure was going to say this anyway, but thanks to all of you who brought in gifts for the Maslow Project Christmas adventure. We fulfilled all of the wishes for all 4 of our kids we adopted, homeless children that wouldn't have had any Christmas, and my heart is warmed by that. And Treasure will be speaking about another opportunity. If you're still in a giving, spread the joy mode, she'll be sharing something during announcements. So it is time now for our tithes and offerings. If you need an envelope, there in the back of the purple chairs. If you're giving online, there should be a, what do you call that thing? A code. A QR code. You can make a contribution if you'd like. We'd love that. So let's say our affirmation together, shall we? Graciously I give from a place of love, knowing that as I give, so do I richly receive. I have one more thing. As the basket goes around, I invite everybody to touch it. A colleague was doing this. And so even if you're giving online or if it's not your day to give, you're sending your love into that donation. So please feel free to do that. Thank you.
You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not shout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's gonna find out if you're naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Especially for the Maslow kids.
Yeah,
Awesome.
there you go. We had a discussion this week of whether this was appropriate for church. And I said, heck yes. In this church, yes. So I'm going to invite Treasure Wild up to read our announcements for this week. As usual, lots going on.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all. Ah, there you are. Oh, yes, there you are. Lovely. First of all, I want to welcome those who are joining us online, both now and in the future. Right now, we have Kathy and Sylvia. Hi, welcome. We're glad you're here with us. And for those of you who are in the house, join us afterwards for food and fellowship right after in the Bosworth Hall. And as Reverend Kimberly pointed out, hey, amazing job giving to the Maslow Project. And we have other opportunities to share our good, which is fantastic. Northwest Seasonal Workers Association is also asking for our help this season. They're looking for volunteers and cash donations, as well as gifts for children of all ages. Requested items include girls' costume jewelry and hair accessories. Oh, I think I could help them out with that. Basketballs, footballs, and Lego sets. Their office is... We don't have the address, but Reverend Kimberly knows where to go. So yeah, definitely check that out. And thank you for your generosity and your giving. Choir. Hey, we have a choir. We'll meet today for their very first rehearsal at 12:15 right here in the sanctuary. Come join the fun. Men's group meets tomorrow at 11 a.m. Tai Chi and Poetry as Spiritual Practice meet Tuesday at 10 and 11 respectively. Miracle Makers meets at 10:30 on Wednesday. We're going to have a Christmas sing-along concert after service on December 21st. Remember, that's our solstice. We are asking for a love offering. A slide on the overhead, I don't know what that means. Later that evening at 6:30 p.m., there will be an Interfaith Longest Night service. That's the service that Reverend Kimberly was mentioning. That's going to be over at the Medford First Christian community. So yeah, stop by and check that out. Please see our weekly e-newsletter for all of our happenings. For those who do not receive that e-newsletter, there's always a printed copy available for your information on the Bosworth Hall in the information table. And you can sign up to receive your own copy right there in Bosworth Hall on our website or by emailing us at cslroguevalley@gmail.com. Our ecclesiastical team loves to pray with and for you. Each Sunday, you're invited to come forward for a short affirmative prayer with any of the practitioners who will stand at the front of the sanctuary. If you prefer more privacy, there are going to be 2 in-service practitioners, Reverend Stephanie and myself this week, will be available for a short private prayer in Reverend Kimberly's office and in the living room. Please come and see us directly after service. You'll find an information sheet about your prayer team in the back pocket of the purple chairs. Prayer request forms are in the rack, also behind those chairs. And at the back of the sanctuary, we have one shared prayer box back in that corner there, located there for both CSL and Unity. We love to hear about your answered prayers as well. Your demonstrations lift the whole community. You're welcome to use the same prayer forms to share those moments of grace. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. So I'm just going to reiterate before we close with our closing song. When we think about surrendering into faith, hope, love, there's nothing more powerful than prayer to help us do that. So in addition to your personal time meditating and praying, I encourage you to come forward either after service or call. The practitioners and ministers' numbers are all in the newsletter. Please reach out, especially if you're struggling this season. Let's reach out and have a prayer to be able to really, really release what needs to be released and to be present and joyful and enjoy the season. Someone invite all our practitioners and ministers who are available for prayer to come on forward. Yeah, what am I forgetting?
Birthday Sunday.
Oh! If you have a birthday in December, please stand, and we're going to sing. The last verses are, happy birthday, we sure do love you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. We sure do love you.
Prepared birthday cakes, so please come partake. They are delicious. So let's end with our affirmation one more time. Say after me if you would. I am centered and poised in the Christ mind.
I am centered and poised in the Christ mind.
Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul.
Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul.
Take it away, musicians.
All right, we're going to have a little fun here. You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen, but do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, like a light bulb. Oh, if you ever saw it, you would even say it closed. All of the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, ho, ho, ho.
Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
Then how the reindeer loved him as he shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
Like Thucydides.
You'll go down in history. Woo!